So for our failed state, we decided to do Afghanistan because there's currently war going on, and there's a lot of problems and with their tools and equipment and land and their labor, and they're ranked number 8 on the scale.
So for the political system of Afghanistan, it's a theocracy. And theocracy means that it's ruled by a religious view, and it's an Islamic republic because they're mostly ruled by their Muslim views.
So Afghanistan is a command economic system, and a command economic system is when the government tells the people what to do, and it's based what the central government decides, and they strive for efficient use of time and resources for economic growth. One of the benefits of this is that everyone has a job and everyone has like equal pay and all. And then in Afghanistan, people are not allowed to have private businesses. The government just doesn't want them to have international trade because they want to be more self-reliant, and they want to be to themselves, so they don't have ties with other nations. And then example, foreign investors are not allowed. And then another example is foreigners are not allowed to their own land because refugees is a big problem going on here, and they don't want to continue adding more to it.
So the unemployment rate for Afghanistan is 35%. The GDP per capita is 2,051 international dollars. The GDP has increased by 1.3 in the past year. And in the tax system, 10% of every income on 12,500 Afghanis and 20% for 100,000 Afghanis. In the business, 20% is corporate tax and 12.5% tax on gross receipts. And an inflation rate is at a 3.66%, which means that the currency didn't go as high. So more Afghanis are losing their jobs and their businesses.
So 2 of the indicators for Afghanistan is 1, the security apparatus, which is at a 10. And this isn't good because you want to be lower in numbers, and 10 is the highest it can be. They should have a monopoly on the use of legitimate force, and by this, the social contract is weakened where it is affected by competing groups. And then one of the biggest things this country struggles with is that the internal violence and the fragile government institutions. And then the second main indicator that they struggle with are external interventions, which is at a 9.8, which is also really high. And so when the state fails to meet its international of domestic obligations, some external factors may intervene to provide services or to manipulate internal affairs. And an instance that happened was when the U.S. attacked Afghanistan in 2001. People started to leave, and this left the government weak. And they like to be very self-reliant, so it's often hard for them to get help from other nations. And then another big issue that happened was like scarcity. And scarcity is basically when our resources are limited compared to our wants. We can't have everything, so we have to decide what we want to give up and what we need. And so since Afghanistan has been at war, they don't have enough money for all resources, so they have to decide what they need. They decided that military equipment is more valuable, causing their food supply to be very limited and low. They thought that since they would be at war, that they need to protect themselves, and so they want to be sure they have enough resources to protect everyone. People are abused, and there are no women's rights here, and so this affects the women's views on everything. And then Afghanistan is moving toward a stage where they are fully independent functioning state. They are currently examining security forces, the regional environment, and the political socio-economic essentials to promote security. Afghanistan doesn't provide any services to the people. The citizens don't feel secure since they are facing a fearful future as American troops prepare to exit. And so this leaves them very worried, and this leaves them to become a failed state. This is the PPC for Afghanistan. This is one of them. And the red line is where Afghanistan is currently at, and they're inefficient compared to what they should be at. And the blue line shows where they should be at. And the blue line means maximum efficiency. And currently the consumer good output and the capital good output, which are like tools and machinery and like the people's wants, are lacking. And so they need to be more efficient and solve their issues to be on the maximum efficient line.
For improvements for Afghanistan, we put as they should allow foreign trades, or it would help for many goods and having to help them with their needs. And they should provide the people's needs more by decreasing the taxes on business run in the state, because their taxes are pretty high on business, which causes many businesses to run out. And then they should reassure the people's security because of the current war and how the war is impacting the people. For the political system of Germany, it is a democratic. It's a democracy or democratic country. It's a federal republic. It's ruled by a president with the constitution, and it's a mixed market country for the economic system, and people have the right to choose of what kind of business they want, but the government still sets the rules. The unemployment rate for Germany is 6.2, which is really low, and it's good. And the GDP per capita is $43,443 dollars. For the GDP is 3,852,000,000, and the tax system is. The tax is evenly spread out throughout the people, and it's not unfair. The sales tax is 19%, the corporate tax is 29.65%, the income tax is 47.5%, the inflation rate is 0.23%, which is really good. But the thing is that it decreased by 0.68% throughout the year, but more people have jobs in Germany, and the money value is greater than the U.S. value. The poverty rate is at 40%, and it's because the people are paid a low amount of money, causing the poverty rate to be high, although the employment rate is low. And for improvement, they should increase the security because of many refugees are trying to get into Germany since there are wars in their surrounding countries.
So two of the main indicators, one of the highest ones is the group grievance, which is also known as the GG. It's at a 4.6. This is the highest one they have there, which is very good because you want to be lower in numbers. And so basically this is when the tension and violence exists between groups, and the state's ability to provide security is undermined, and fear and further violence may ensue. So they just need to get the violence rate under conditions and figure that one out. And then another indicator is uneven economic development, which is at a 3.3, which is pretty good. And so when there are religious or regional disparities, the governments tend to be uneven in their commitment to the social contract, so they're not following the social contract as much, which is a problem for all the people and all their needs. And then this country has recently ratified international human rights treaties. Improvements have been made for public spending and labor freedom. Germany's citizens feel very secure here, which is a very good thing because that means that they want to live there and they want to be there and they feel happy and they feel very at home. And then the federal president is the head of the state, but had little influence on the government. He kind of leaves it up to the people. And the public life is based on like the central laws of Germany. They're aiming to combine advantages of a unified state with those of a federal state. There's a bunch of refugees coming in the country, which has caused a heavy burden on the people. They're trying to deport immigrants faster. Germany has a mixed economic system in which the economy includes a variety of private freedom. This is combined with centralized economic planning and government regulations. And then scarcity is by increasing the amount of employment, they are decreasing the amount of payment for all the people. So this is the PPC for Afghanistan, and Afghanistan is perfectly on the line, which is maximum efficiency, which is where they should be. This is what makes them one of the most efficient and successful states, because they know how to handle their wants and needs, and they know what they need for their nation to be a better state. They know how to maintain their corn and cars, which is like their electronics and food, and this helps them to be at maximum efficiency, which is good for all the people.